This is what Chinese people eat on regular basis. The next article headline I will show you might shock you, so brace yourself. Chinese people consume the reproductive organs of animals. Please don't skip the video, we won't talk that nasty on this channel. Meanwhile, the Chinese not only eat odd things, but they also drink strange things like bat and snake soup. In this chapter, we will look at the reasons why Chinese people eat weird things. China really does have an issue. In China, to boost reproduction, dangerous chemicals are injected into the animal body. The country's food safety standards are very bad. Despite many government-led initiatives to improve them, diarrhea and food poisoning are regular experiences. Wet markets that aren't authorized to sell live animals still do so. Basic hygiene practices such as wearing gloves and hand washing are not followed. Now let's look at the reasons why Chinese people eat anything they want. In 2022, showing off wealth has become a habit, and China is no strange to this habit. In communist China, eating different varieties of meat represents social status. Food is used by people to express their social status. Rare and expensive food is frequently used to represent wealth. Show-off foods are typically high-protein animal meats that are difficult to come by due to scarcity, high cost, or need of importation. Bird's nest, shark's fin, bear's paw are used as a tool to represent social status in the Chinese society. Later in the video, I will tell you why old Chinese grandpas are consuming tiger meat. But first, we have to come back to the second important factor, that is religion. Religions across the world tie their followers not to eat different kinds of food. But in China, this religious factor doesn't apply. For example, in Hinduism, you cannot eat beef. For Muslims, they cannot eat pork. And the next number I will present you will shock you. 90% of the Chinese people do not follow any religion. And this allows Chinese people to eat anything and everything, including reproductive organs of animals. Look at this map. It shows how irreligious China is. People who follow religion in China are even hated. And the Chinese Communist Party consider itself an atheist party. And there is a very interesting story that shows that Chinese people and its government doesn't want to change the food culture. In 2006, author Zi Qing published a book called What Kind of God? The book was a groundbreaking expose on Chinese food business, but sadly, 70% of the copies of the book were ordered to be blocked from being published. And the little success of the book sent the author into political exile. This is how harsh Chinese are when someone questions their weird eating habits. Part of China's weird food problem can also be attributed to traditional Chinese medicine, which is responsible for much of the wildlife trade. I mean, it's funny how the rest of the world believes China is spreading diseases due to their strange eating habits, while the Chinese people eat strange food to heal different diseases. Traditional Chinese medicine has been heavily promoted by the government, especially under President Xi Jinping. Yes, I emphasize with old uncles erectile dysfunction, but tiger's reproductive organ won't help. Yes, this is a real thing. Dale Hohenberg, an expert on Chinese affairs, in his research showed how even endangered animals are consumed for medical purposes. And he also reflects on how poor the government regulations are in China. And because of these poor laws and regulation, consuming endangered species in China is so popular. So what are the solutions to this problem? Stop using animal parts in traditional Chinese medicine is the first solution. This will take years of enforcement and a large operation on the side of the Chinese government, but it must be done for the sake of endangered species and disease transmission. And the second but very important point is to close wet markets. I'm not going to tell people in China what to eat and what not to eat, but sanitization needs to increase and wild animal consumption needs to decrease drastically. Live animal trading is a serious issue, so slaughterhouses must be regulated and other more sanitary means of processing dead animals must be adopted. In 1988, Chinese government passed the law that promoted the domestication and breeding of wildlife, and this law made issues worse for the Chinese people, as now they were legally allowed to eat anything and everything. But in 2016, the government did make changes in this law, but till that time, there was no turning back for the Chinese people who had grown up consuming bat soup. And if we examine the economic component of the meat industry, it employs a large number of people. Therefore, shutting it down will result in large number of people losing their jobs. According to a research, Chinese people spend far more time cooking than people in other developed nations. Average Chinese cook for 3 to 4 hours every day. For now, we can only hope that Chinese people, instead of promoting their meat consumption, they should flaunt their clothes, and moreover, Chinese people should start visiting professional doctors rather than eating tiger to treat dysfunctions.